what everyone's like, I got a whole box of them. I don't know. All right, so one thing I'm going to talk about really quick is, other than giving you guys these. So Mike is leaving, if you guys didn't know, and so is Jesse.
Oh, wow.
On the HVAC side.
What do you mean leaving?
They gave their notice.
Oh.
Which I kind of expected, just to be honest. You know, those guys, they're not making any money because they're together and always together. So when we're doing a job, you know, you got two guys on a job, and now you're trying to split everything up between two guys. It's just
Hard.
It's really hard. But neither here or there. I am looking for a couple of HVAC installers. So I got a guy in that Kevin's actually talking to today. So I got a couple other possibilities too. So this the process that we use for the HVAC thing is really starting to work for those who are using it. So far, William's done like 4 of them, and we've sold 3. So just in the last, you know, this week here alone, and into next week, he's got a warranty installed. It's not our warranty, but it's a warranty coil. So we got the coil. He's got basically labor on that. And then Thursday, he's got an install. They're doing it, and then they sold another one. Him and Kevin sold another one that they have to have done by Friday. And then there's another one that's for Grover that's going next week on, I think, Tuesday. So I mean, he's killing it with the process. And I've gone out to 2 of the calls with him and one on Ryan. And I think the one on Ryan's going to go too, but it's just going to be an evaporative coil. But it's still, I mean, it definitely works. The hardest thing about it here is when you have them in the attic, you can't have the client do that part, you know, with a sniffer where they get to go test it, because they're not going to go up in the attic. That's the only hard part. But the one that we did downstairs in the closet worked out perfect. The other thing, just kind of mentioning House Call Pro. Some of the guys, we only have one girl, are not putting in your purchase orders in the private notes. You have to put in Ferguson, whatever it is, and I don't even care if it's not. If you're in charge of the job, you still need to put them in. So, for an example, Kevin sells a job and says, "Okay, hey Anthony, you're going to go do this repipe, whatever it is, right?" If you're kind of in charge of whoever the plumber in charge or the HVAC in charge, or whoever it is, you guys have got to make sure you're getting all the receipts from your guys. If someone buys something, and Guillermo goes out and buys something, gives you the Home Depot receipt, you need to make sure it goes into your private notes. And even if you don't have, let's say you don't have a good signal and you can't do it right now, just call up to, you can call up to the dispatcher or in the office here. We'll put it in for you if you need to, but we need to have them in there. Payroll is freaking hard as hell when I'm trying to find all these receipts and make sure everything's matching up. So please make sure that they're in there. And then on your time card sheets, if you're working with somebody, like let's say Guillermo's going with Anthony and you guys are doing some work where he's getting paid, anything over $1,000, you got to put what rate he's getting paid. Because all of a sudden I get payroll done and someone says, "Oh, well, he was going to pay me, $20 an hour," but it wasn't on his sheet. So he's the guy paying. It has to be on his sheet for me to pay. So it's got to be on both guys' sheet. So on your sheet, Guillermo, you would put on there, this many hours for this job, per Anthony, he's paying this much, or per Iggy, whatever. And then Iggy should also have, or Anthony should have that amount on their sheet. On the commission sheet, they should say he worked this many hours at this rate. That's the only way I'm going to know and not mess up payroll, because the last thing I want to do, like the last thing you guys want to do, is go redo stuff, right? Redo your work. Go back in and redo another payroll, because I got to add another payroll. I can't. Once that payroll is in, I got to go and do a whole separate payroll for that individual check for whoever I'm doing that for. So it makes it kind of a pain. Also, I'm throwing this out because I heard this happen yesterday. If you have an electric water heater and you're going to flush it, what's the first thing you do? Turn off the power. Why?
Because it's going to be burning, no, while you're draining it.
And what happens if it burns when you're draining it?
You can burn out the
Element. That's
I didn't know that.
That's basic 101.
I mean, unless you're doing repairs, you turn it off, obviously. But I mean, I was never told. I never even drained an electric water heater until yesterday or the day before. So that was the first time ever. That's why I put it in the notes too now. So that way, if anybody goes there and they've never drained one, make sure to turn breaker off before draining, before flushing. Right. But I had no idea.
Well, so I mean, it's kind of basic plumbing for for water heaters, or when it comes to anything that has an electric element. It's kind of like trying to run your jacuzzi,
No water.
and then when you drain it, there's no water circulating, you're gonna burn out the element. That's the way it is. Any kind of element, any kind of electric element that doesn't have water flowing through it or on it, it's gonna do that. For a gas, it's different. I mean, it's like having your stove on. You can run your stove all day long with,
Yeah.
it's not gonna hurt anything, it's just burning gas. But the element heats up. When the element heats up like that and it doesn't have water, it gets too hot, and then it fries. I mean, they're not super expensive to necessarily swap out, but when you're doing a water heater flush, and we're not getting any money for that anyway, and then you burn it out, and then you gotta go back and get an element and then put it in, and I mean, it's just wasting your time and money and our money and, everybody's money and time. So just I wanna make sure that everybody knows that going forward for, any type of electric element that's in a water heater, you have to turn it off first before you flush them. And then the last thing is about, I want to try to come up with some ideas that are very cost effective for the plumbing side. So to increase the plumbing side. For the HVAC side, we're already got our process in to do what we're doing to get more work. For the plumbing side, we're not really doing a whole heck of a lot other than we go do our water heater flush, and we're trying to do an inspection. And Iggy did a really good job with Sarah yesterday. I heard him talking for quite a while yesterday morning, figuring out how the setup is gonna work so she can come out and help sell a water heater, sold for $2,600. That kind of thing is great, but the HVAC side also needs to be flipping any kind of potential plumbing stuff. So when you guys are out on HVAC calls, do a quick inspection on, look at the water heater, look at the age of it and stuff like that, because the replacement, at least, we can get someone out and come replace it or put a tankless in or do whatever is needed for a client. The same thing with, just kind of doing a basic inspection on even angle stops or whatever. Take a look at them and let somebody know, because we can always get somebody out there. We got guys that aren't doing a lot of stuff right now. I'm trying to do a different thing with advertising on the drain side. I'm working on it right now with somebody on someone that we've used before in the past that did some direct marketing stuff, but it's real expensive, so I'm trying to be as zone perfect as I can with the older homes, because it gets real expensive and a waste of money if you're throwing it out to everybody who has ABS and newer homes, so you gotta be careful where you put them. So I'm trying to get some good pricing on that. Hopefully I can get a deal that'll work for us, because that's the next area that we need to work on. So that's really all I have. You guys got anything? No?
No, sir.
Cool.
Thank you.
Well, let's get going. I know you got work going on this morning, so
I do.